Basically, since I've fled, till now, there's been a systematic genocide, and, which has kind of been a quiet thing because no one knows where Sri Lanka is. And now it's just escalated to the point, there's 350,000 people who are stuck in a battle zone and can't get out, and the, aid's banned, and humanitarian organizations are banned, journalists are banned from telling the story. It's just like one-sided, 100%. And I think it's just escalated because Obama was coming into power, because, only under sort of Bush's presidency that you could get away with doing as much as that.
When you say there's genocide happening there, what's your sense for why a story of genocide isn't being covered more in the media? Why don't we know more about this?
You don't know more about it because due to the propaganda, when you think Tamil, you automatically think tiger. And that is completely disproportionate, So human beings like around the world have to be taught to go Tamil equals Tamil civilians first, and the Tamil tigers are a separate thing, and both of those groups are different. It's like a square and a circle. And the thing is, there's only 4,000 Tamil tiger soldiers in Sri Lanka, and if you want, you could just sneeze and wipe them out in a day, and they're not that sophisticated with their weaponry and stuff like that. The Sri Lankan government, which is like 1 million soldiers big, can handle that. But using those people, we're managing to wipe out the whole Tamil population, the civilians, and that is why you don't hear about it. Because, the propaganda in the media, because if you're a terrorist organization, you don't have the right to speak, that is passed on to the Tamil civilians. The Tamil civilians don't have the right to speak or right to live. They don't have any liberties. So that's been like the key thing, that when you think Al-Qaeda, you're not thinking Afghanistan, that if you want to go and fight and kill Al-Qaeda, then you can, but you can't wipe out Afghanistan, And that's what's happening in Sri Lanka.
Pleased to be joined now from Colombo by Sri Lanka's Foreign Secretary, Dr. Palitha Kohona. He has served in a number of key positions throughout his career, including his time as the chief of the UN Treaty Section in New York. Dr. Kohona, I know it's early there in Colombo. I'm honored to have you on the program. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
I know you heard the comments that M.I.A. Made on this program some weeks ago. Let me start by asking a very direct question. Is the government of Sri Lanka engaged in genocide?
I think there is an accepted meaning to the word genocide. In Sri Lanka, 54% or more of the Tamil population does not live in the areas controlled by the Tamil tigers. They live in the south, in and around Colombo, under government control. If there were genocide in Sri Lanka, I wonder what all these Tamil people are doing, living under the control of the government. Because I feel that they are comfortable, they get about their lives in the normal way, and they have no problem with it. If there were genocide, I don't think this situation would exist. In fact, this entire comment is misconceived, and it's the result of misinformation. M.I.A. is a great artist, and we wish her well. But I'm sorry, I think she is misinformed, and it's best that she stay with what she's good at, which is music, not politics. There's a whole complex situation on the ground in Sri Lanka, as you heard before. There is a group of terrorists, the Tamil Tigers, challenging the government. For a long time, they controlled territory. They even had a basic air facility and a naval facility. Now, over the last 2 years, the government has rolled them back. Now they're limited to a very small area in the northeast of the country. As you heard before, they're limited to an area as little as 100 square kilometers, which is roughly about 30 square miles. And it's a matter of time before that's the Tamil Tigers, are overrun and the entire country restored to normalcy. The Tamil people of this country are our people. They are our brothers. They are our sisters. They live amongst us. And I don't think there is a problem that the Sinhalese have with the Tamils. They do have a problem with the Tamil Tigers, the terrorists who are, you have to remember, proscribed in most of the democracies of the world as a terrorist organization. Not only are the Tamil Tigers proscribed, their front organizations are proscribed. And many of their leading members are currently being prosecuted in countries like the United States, Canada, Britain, Australia, France, Italy, etc. So we have to remember, this is not a simple case where somebody could come up on the screen and pass judgment on. It's a very complex case. But I must say that the government is doing all it can to deal with this situation, this terrorist situation, without harming the Tamil population of Sri Lanka, the civilian population of Sri Lanka. The vast majority, I must repeat, of whom live in areas controlled by the government.
Even the United Nations of late has had something to say to your government, though, about firing on civilians. What say you about the UN's concerns about your military operations and the strategic targeting of civilians?
The United Nations later withdrew that statement because the government demonstrated categorically that it did not fire on civilians. It doesn't need to fire on civilians. The prize is almost within its grasp. It has almost wiped out the Tamil Tigers from the areas that they controlled. In fact, there's no need for us to fire on civilians. In fact, we need to get the civilians onto our side. It's the Tamil Tigers who herded the civilians, a large number of them, into this enclave in which they're surrounded now. There, the civilians are being used as a human shield. You know that this situation exists elsewhere in the world, where civilians are paying the price for the ambitions of a small group. In the northeastern of Sri Lanka, that is exactly what is happening. There are thousands of civilians who are held against their will in this enclave by the Tamil Tigers as a shield against the government advance. In fact, over the last few days, over 35,000 of these civilians have escaped. They have run through the Tamil Tiger lines and come over to the government side. In fact, in the process, many of them have been shot at by the Tamil Tigers. I think it's very important to remember that today the government is embarked on a process of reconciliation. It is not by scratching the old scab or regurgitating the old wound that regurgitating the old pain that we can heal our wounds. We have to heal our wounds. As a people, we have to get back together. And the government is determined to follow a policy of reconciliation and rehabilitation.
How